Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 5 of the Tissue Box Ukulele project. Okay, so in the previous video I was aligning the bridge for intonation and marking out where it needs to go on the body, which I did as close as I possibly could. You know, intonation on ukuleles is always problematic. So I've taken the neck off just to make the next part a bit easier, and I've cut out the material around here, and I also had to shave a little bit of this wood panel off as well to make it all level. I've got a couple of guide holes in here for the bridge. So let's get set up and crack on attaching the bridge. Okay, so now I have got quite an interesting way of securing this bridge and holding it in place while I glue it. So let's just make sure I've got everything I need, which I think I have. Okay, so I've also taken the saddle out of the bridge to make life a bit easier. Obviously you can't clamp it with that in there. So I've cut this shape out for the bridge, and it fits in there beautifully. It doesn't move around, so that in itself would usually be enough to hold it in place while you're gluing it. But I don't want to trust that. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of little Allen screws with nuts as well, and I'm going to put those through the holes, through the bridge, the body and the bridge plate, just to hold everything in place while I'm gluing it, so I know it's not going to move around. So I need glue. I'm going to get a paintbrush as well, with the water, and I'm just going to crack straight on with it. Okay, so let's just think, make sure I'm, again, not getting ahead of myself. I think we're all good. Okay, so I'll just pop these screws out of here for a minute while I do the gluing. Okay, so I'm doing it this way so that I can glue the bridge and the bridge plate at the same time. Often you'll have to glue one, let that set, and then line up the other one and glue it separately, but obviously that's going to take twice as long. So by doing it this way, I can do both pieces at the same time. And what it will also help to do is to make sure that the body stays flat, you know, while I'm gluing the bridge on, mostly because you don't want any gaps anywhere. You don't want the body to bow. So if I've got the two pieces together, one outside, one inside, I've got it all clamped together, it will hold it straight and flat while it's gluing up. Okay, so let me think. I will. Okay, I'll put the bridge on first. Now I have already previously roughened this up with some 80 grit sandpaper just to make sure it's going to, you know, bond nicely, and I've done the same here. So let's get a little bit of glue on here first. Again, good coverage, but not too much glue. You do not want too much squeeze out. So let's just spread that glue out. Try not to get any on the body itself. So, you know, this is where the 100% coverage is the most crucial. On the bridge, you definitely don't want the bridge lifting anywhere. So, you know, 100% coverage is absolutely crucial at this stage. But again, like I said, you don't need a lot of glue. In fact, you need to try and get away with as little glue as possible. A thinner glue surface will actually bond better than you know, gallons of it. Right, so that's on the body. I'll do the same on the bridge itself. Okay, it should be enough. Just spread that out. Let's get a drop more water. Might need a little bit more. We'll see. Actually, just a tiny drop more, not too much. That should be enough. Okay. Right, that is good enough. 100% coverage. And let's just put that in place. Let's just try and wipe off some of the excess glue around the edge first. Don't want that. Okay, right, bridge in place. Nice and easy to line up. He says getting it all out of line. Right, let me just grab a bit of tissue, get off that excess glue. Right, so I'll put the little Allen screws through the holes. There's my Allen key. There it is. Just push those down. Okay, they should stay in place. I'll just hold that just in case. Okay, so let me just quickly draw a line where that's going to go. On the inside, so I know where to put the glue. Should have done that beforehand, completely forgot. Never mind, it will take a few seconds. Okay, that's fine. Right, so let me get the glue in there first, because that's going to be a bit tricky. Okay, spread that out. Now, another thing I want to be careful of is not gluing these screws in. I do not want that, because I want them to come out again once this is finished. Okay, and some glue on the bridge plate. Okay, drop of water, and spread it around. Again, try not to get too much glue around those holes, which are going to be the bridge pin holes anyway, so don't want too much glue around there, but want to try and get as close to the hole as possible with the glue. Should be good enough. Okay, so let's put that in place now. Line up the screws. Okay. Right. Got to make sure it's straight before I tighten those screws down. Actually, that's still squeezing out of there. Let's get a bit more of that glue squeeze out off. Okay. Try and push these screws down a bit more. Right, put the nuts on the back, just tighten them up a little bit, not tight, just, you know, to hold everything still. Okay, that's one. This one's not poking through enough, it might not go in, but we'll see. Right, we're good. Okay, see, just tightening those screws, just a tiny bit, not even tight. See how much glue is squeezed out again, so just get rid of that. Oh, what a mess. Okay, and off the inside as well. There's quite a lot of glue squeezed out, which is good in one way because it shows you've got good contact. But not so good in another way because it makes a bloody mess. Okay, now, so that's kind of holding it in place for now, and I need some clamps. Probably 2 will be enough, but I'll have 3 ready. I want some leather pads. 1, 2, 3. Now, I made this block up as a caul to go on the inside, and bear in mind we've got these nuts here. So I've drilled a couple of holes in there to allow for those nuts. So I'll put that caul on the inside there, just locate those nuts in those drill holes. There we go. And get it clamped up. So I'm going to put one in the middle first. Will that reach? Yeah, that's fine. Oops. So I'll put one clamp in the middle first to hold everything in place. Actually, let me just check the alignment of that bridge plate. It's a little bit skew-iff, so let's move that a bit. That's almost right. Okay, I'm going to just push it down and get some more of the glue squeeze out before I clamp that down. I know you can't really see what I'm doing too well, but... Okay, let me just measure. I want to make sure that bridge plate goes straight. So we've got about 41, and yeah, that's about right. And the bridge itself looks good. I'll go with that. I have got quite a bit of glue come through the holes, which is not ideal, but I'll worry about that later. That shouldn't be a problem. A little bit of glue on the bridge as well, but it cleans off easy enough. Okay, so let's put that caul inside. Line up the nuts with the drill holes. Okay, so one clamp in the middle. It's going to reach, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now I want to put a leather pad on the bridge side so I don't damage it. Actually, I should. It's okay. Saying perhaps I should have a piece of wood across there, but I don't think I need to do that. And this is not going to be clamped down really, really tight, but tight enough to do the job, obviously. Okay, I'm not going to do that too tight just yet. Wow, glue squeeze out. There's a lot of it. Okay, I need to try and get in there with a wet brush, clean that up a bit. That's better. And as little glue on the surface as possible to clean up afterwards, especially on the bridge itself actually. Okay. A little bit this side as well. It's really tricky to get in there. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not quite in the middle. Let me just move that across a bit. How's that? That's better. Right, so one in the middle, and then I'm going to have one each side. Okay, down she goes. Okay, and one the other side. This is going to get a bit tricky now. Like, yeah, that's going to work. Okay. Where's my other clamp? I dropped it on the floor, didn't I? It's on the floor where I put it. Okay, same again this side. Right, let's just nip that up, and then we'll make sure everything is lined up. That one can come across a little bit. It's off to one side. That's better. Okay. Actually, that needs to go on there a bit more. That's better. There we go. Okay, and a bit more glue cleanup, as much as I can get to. Okay, check the other side. How are we doing for time? Oh, left of time. Okay. Right, so I'm going to just tighten these clamps up, but I'm not going to go madly over tight, just tight enough I know that it's going to clamp everything down the way I want it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to try and get a bit more of that glue off of this side. It's quite a lot on the actual bridge, I don't want that. Let's get in there with a paper towel. That's a bit better. Okay, so that's the bridge and the bridge plate all clamped up, looking good. Just nip those clamps up just a tiny bit more. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, so while that glue is setting up and drying, I think I might as well fit the preamp and output jack, but not obviously not the pickup pad itself, just to you know, use time a bit more wisely. Right, I need 2 screws right there, and I will need a spanner 14mm, I think. Let me just check that. Okay, so now I made sure this hole was really tight because I don't want, you know, it wobbling about or anything. So it is a bit tricky getting it in there, and I've just realised I can't actually. I'm not going to be able to fit the jack because that's right down in there. And I'm not going to be able to get to that easily, so maybe, no, I've changed my mind. If I can only put that part in, there's not much point, so I'm going to leave that until later. Don't need to do that right now. I just wanted to, you know, kind of not waste time while this is gluing, but it's probably better if I do wait. Okay. So that's the glue, the bridge and the bridge plate all gluing up. Just check those clamps one more time. They're good. See, I can't really see inside there if the bridge plate is gluing down properly, but I'm pretty sure it will be. I can't see it's going to resist all that pressure from those clamps, so I think we should be good. I've got no room left to put any more clamps on, so that'll be good enough. It will be good enough. I'm just, you know, I want to make sure. Okay, so that brings us to a conclusion for part 5. And really, the next stage after this is to fit the preamp and the output jack and the actual pickup pad itself, then permanently attach the neck, and I'm still going to leave the back off of it until literally the very last moment, because if I do come across any problems and I've already glued the back on, tough, there's nothing I can do. And I think there will be enough strength and rigidity in this to actually string it up, you know, and work on the intonation without the back on it, or without the back permanently secured on it. So that will be the very last job I do. You know, it's so the bridge is now on. I'll have to attach the neck and the electronics, and again, I'm not going to permanently attach the neck until the very last moment. you know, basically before I glue the back on, obviously. So you know, I want to make sure that I can adjust things if necessary, where necessary, and you know, it's from this stage, as I said, it's attaching the neck in no particular order, attaching the neck, the electronics, and you know, the rest of the tuners and the strings, and try to sort out the intonation. Also, I'll put a couple of strap buttons on this, and that will be it. But that's probably not going to conclude in the next video. Probably be 2 more. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Okay, so I would like to thank you all for watching, and please look after yourselves, look after each other, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace out.